Did you know that taking your Prilosec or Nexium for your heartburn could be blocking your nutrient absorption while you're on your GLP-1 meds? Or that restricting calories continuously rather than cycling them leads to rapid metabolic crash? Well, that's just two things, but by the end of this video, you're gonna understand the top 10 things that you should never mix with your GLP-1 meds if you wanna avoid side effects and achieve lasting weight loss. I'm Dr. Jones, DC, and I lead the coaching department at our nationwide GLP-1 clinic. Look, I've been there myself. I've lost 100 pounds over 20 years ago, and I struggled for a while to maintain that. And I know what it's like when nothing seems to work. The differences between success and failure often comes down to these specific combinations that nobody warns you about. After coaching over 1,500 patients to date, I've seen the mistakes that causes everything from crazy scenarios, pancreatic inflammation, to complete weight loss stalls. But what matters most, I'm gonna show you exactly what those 10 things are, but then how to fix them so that you can walk away with a solution today. And just so you know, some of these recommendations are very controversial. So let's just dive right in, starting with the one that sent my patient Lisa to the ER. Alcohol consumption in excess. Now, I'm not saying you can never have a drink, but here's what Lisa didn't know. She's a 48-year-old business owner, and her nightly wine habit, we're talking 2 to 3 glasses every single night to unwind, was creating dangerous inflammation responses. In our clinic, I've seen this pattern repeatedly. Lisa's pancreas was getting inflamed. We could see it in her blood work. The numbers were 3 times higher than they should have been. Those are pancreatic enzymes, lipase, and amylase. She ended up in the ER thinking that she was having a heart attack. Now, research shows GLP-1 meds reduce alcohol cravings by about 30 to 40%. They actually change how your brain responds to alcohol. But when you drink excessively, you're fighting against your medication, your body's inflammation markers. So think of them as your body's alarm system. They start going haywire. Your meds are literally trying to make you drink less, and there's probably a reason for that. But here's a solution that changed everything for Lisa. So we switched her to what I like to call the one and done protocol. 1 drink maximum, followed immediately by 16 ounces of water and a pinch of pink salt. Why does this work? See, these medications make you less thirsty, so you literally don't feel like drinking even when you need to. And that makes staying hydrated during any alcohol consumption absolutely critical. The pink salt helps your body hold on to that water full of electrolytes. Lisa discovered mocktails, by the way, and she makes them with allulose. So unlike regular sugars that spike your insulin and work against your medication, allulose doesn't mess with your blood sugar. In fact, it actually lowers it, which is pretty cool. She makes this incredible mojito with fresh mint, lime, sparkling water, and allulose. And when she's feeling a little spunky, she'll throw some vodka in there. But here's where Sarah's story takes an unexpected turn with something that she thought was healthy. Number 2, sugary drinks. Sarah, a 42-year-old nurse with PCOS, stuck on a plateau for months. She was doing everything right, or so she thought. Turns out she was drinking liquid IV twice a day, thinking that it was healthy hydration. So here's what the research shows. When you're taking a medication designed to make your body respond better to insulin, and then you're constantly spiking your blood sugar with sodas, juices, or sweet coffee drinks, you're literally fighting against your medication. Sugary beverages interfere with how your body processes the GLP-1 signals. So while your medication is trying to help, your cells communicate better. Sugary drinks are blocking these messages. My 3 favorite sweeteners, by the way, to replace sugar are allulose, monk fruit, and stevia. These are the only sweeteners that I allow to my coaching clients because they don't have any health concerns, or at least potential health concerns. Now, I'll be honest, stevia in the food tastes a little bitter to me, and so I only use liquid stevia in my coffee because coffee's already bitter and it just kind of enhances the flavor. I know it's a little weird. I prefer stevia in my coffee. Allulose is my go-to though for most things because it tastes exactly like sugar. It doesn't spike your blood sugar at all though, which is pretty cool. Actually, it lowers it. You can bake with it, you can put it in drinks, whatever you want. Monk fruit is fantastic too though, especially in smoothies and desserts. No weird aftertaste like stevia. So Sarah switched from her sugary liquid IV to water with electrolytes and monk fruit sweeteners, and within 2 weeks, she broke through her plateau and she started losing weight again. She'd been unknowingly consuming about 40 grams of hidden sugar just from those healthy drinks. The key here is understanding that while you're on your GLP-1s, trying to lower insulin resistance, that's when your cells stop listening to insulin properly, every sugary drink sends insulin spiking back through the roof. So you're undoing hours of medication benefit with a single Starbucks Frappuccino. But wait until you hear what happened to Nancy when she tried to speed up her results. Number 3, continuous calorie restriction. Nancy, a 60-year-old grandmother, lost 30 pounds initially, but then she hit a complete wall for 3 months. She was eating about 1,100 calories a day, thinking that it was how weight loss worked. And trust me, this is widespread GLP-1 issue. Freaking bunch of zombies who are barely eating. In my practice, I see it all the time. Your metabolism basically goes into starvation mode, AKA zombie mode. You're freezing cold, you're freaking wearing a sweater when it's hot, you're thinking that becomes really cloudy, zero energy. Research confirms that when you constantly restrict your calories day in and day out, your body burns less just to survive. And the research shows that while GLP-1 medications actually reduce this metabolic slowdown process, I still see people in this situation all the time. So my observations from this tell me that even with the help of GLP-1s, there's just that extreme calorie restriction that causes this metabolic slowdown to happen regardless. By the way, if you're realizing why your results haven't matched your effort, hit that subscribe button right now, because we release 2 videos every single week showing you exactly how to maximize your GLP-1 results while minimizing pesky side effects. Now, here's what we did differently with Nancy. This is called the flow protocol. So instead of restricting calories every single day, you eat around your maintenance. Actually, like a full day's worth of eating, lots of protein. You do that every single day of the week. But then you have days where you do strategic fasting periods for all 24 hours, and you work up to 2 of those, for example. So think about this. Instead of restricting your calories every day, you're restricting them on days per week. Our ancestors didn't count their calories. They didn't eat less every day. They had periods where they hunted successfully and they killed and they feasted. And then when they ate all that food up, they were back to a famine. So this balance between fasting and feasting is ancestrally sound, but there's really good science to back this up. Your body's actually designed for this. When you eat at a maintenance, in most days, your metabolism stays high. And then you balance it with that 24, even 36+ hour fast, you tap into some deep fat burning, hormone optimization without triggering starvation mode. With Nancy, we gradually brought her calories back up to 1800, her actual maintenance. And then we introduced those long fasts. She lost another 2 pounds during this reverse diet when she was actually eating more. And then she lost another 6 pounds by continuously cycling between higher calories and lower calories. The balance of feasting and famine, this is key. Let the medication do its job. Now, this brings me to Rachel's DoorDash addiction. Number 4, ultra processed foods. So Rachel was exhausted from eating so little throughout the day that by 6 p.m., she was nauseous but starving, and DoorDash was calling her name every single evening. The science shows that ultra processed foods can make GLP-1 receptors less sensitive within days. Think of your receptors like locks on your cells, and GLP-1 is the key. Processed foods basically change the lock so that the key doesn't work as well. These foods actually rewire how your brain responds to the medication. Even before you gain weight, the processed food is blocking your medication signals. It's like putting tape over a light switch. You can flip it all you want, but the light won't turn on. Rachel's solution was brilliantly simple. She stocked her freezer up with grass-fed burger patties, 3 minutes per side. Done. Her exact words, "These patties saved me from DoorDash bankruptcy." But the key here, make sure you get high protein, 30 grams of protein minimum per meal. Protein naturally boosts your body's own GLP-1 production and makes the medication work better. Rachel now meal preps on Sundays, grilled chicken, hard-boiled eggs, ground patties like we talked about, all portioned out. And when you have real food ready to go, you don't reach for processed stuff as often, right? Unless you intend to, like a cheat meal. And your receptors stay sensitive, meaning your medication actually works the way it's supposed to, and you can maybe even stay on a lower dose, which is kind of cool. Speaking of things that seem harmless, Jessica learned the next one the hard way. Number 5, aggressive laxative. So Jessica, a 43-year-old mother, was dealing with constipation that affects up to 30% of people on these meds. But she made a critical mistake. She started using stimulant laxatives every single day because she was trying to handle not being able to go. The disaster that followed, not only did the laxative stop working after a couple weeks, but she ended up severely dehydrated with a lot of muscle mass. She lost 15 pounds in I think it was a month, and it was mostly water and muscle, not fat. Here's what actually works. By the way, if you're dealing with these side effects and weight loss plateaus, you don't have to figure this out alone. We have a team of professionals who do this stuff every single day, specializing in optimizing GLP-1 meds with lifestyle strategies. Book a discovery call right now. It's completely free. Speak to my experts, see if this makes sense to you, if any of this stuff resonates. Now, let me show you what actually works for constipation. Magnesium citrate. Start with 200 milligrams at night. Be careful with this stuff. You can work up to 400, but be careful. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It draws water into your intestines naturally without the harsh stimulation. Add chia seeds, 2 tablespoons after it's being soaked in water to gel up. Drink that down. Natural fiber that actually helps. But the real game changer, electrolytes. That's your body's minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium. Jessica started adding pink salt to her water and taking magnesium glycinate, and within a couple weeks, problem solved. The key is addressing the root cause, dehydration and mineral depletion, not just forcing things like harsh laxatives. And speaking of dehydration, this one is responsible for more ER visits than anything else. Number 6, dehydration. This is huge. Studies show that GLP-1 meds make you less thirsty, even when your body desperately needs water. I mean, it's insane. Your body literally doesn't send the "I'm thirsty" signal like it should. It does, but it's just really dampened. And I see this constantly when patients come in and they're presenting very similar pattern of dehydration dehydration, headaches, dizziness, nausea. Thinking it's the medication side effects makes sense, and we check their intake and they're drinking like 30 ounces of water a day. It's insane. That's not even close to the amount you need. So what's happening is these medications affect the part of your brain that controls thirst. Meanwhile, the medication can make you pee more and you lose a lot of minerals, making dehydration even worse. So the formula that works, drink half of your body weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's about 100 ounces of water. But here's the key, add electrolytes. Pink Himalayan salt, quarter teaspoon in your morning water, especially if you're fasting, you want to add a full serving or 2 of electrolytes plus an additional quarter teaspoon of pink salt or Celtic salt every single day. If you made it this far, 10 minutes in, what surprised you the most about these dangerous combinations? Drop a comment below because I read every single one. One patient told me that she thought she was having a heart problem, racing pulse, chest tightness. It was dehydration. 2 days of proper hydration protocol, symptoms gone. Now this next combination can cause dangerously low blood sugar, and it happens more often than you think. Number 7, adding diabetes medications on your own. In our clinic, I've seen this pattern repeatedly. People hear on some TikToks that metformin helps with weight loss, and it does. I'm a big fan of metformin, by the way. So they order it online and they start stacking it with their GLP-1s, or they're taking leftover sulfonylureas from a previous prescription. I mean, it's crazy. And here's what happened to one patient. He was already on semaglutide. He added metformin that he bought online, plus his old glipizide prescription, and within a week, his blood sugars dropped down into the 40s. That's dangerously low. Shakes, sweating, confusion. His wife found him nearly unconscious. Studies show that the combination of GLP-1s with certain diabetes medications can double or triple your risk of low blood sugar issue. The issue isn't the combination itself, it's doing it without proper monitoring and of dose adjustments done on a licensed healthcare practitioner. The most effective combination, though, should always be done between you and your providers. And make sure if you are on more than one blood sugar lowering medication that you check your blood sugar every single morning, and again, work with your provider. If you see numbers below 70, that's too low. Above 130 fasting, your medication needs adjusting. The key is never self-medicating with diabetes drugs. Work with a provider who understands these interactions. And here's something that's even more shocking about those natural supplements. Number 8, over-the-counter weight loss supplements. It's natural, they say. What could go wrong? Last month, I had a patient taking all natural fat burners from Amazon while on Mounjaro. His liver enzymes, that's how we check if your liver is stressed, tripled, and we caught it on routine labs. Another patient was mixing some detox tea with her semaglutide, ended up with several mineral imbalances and heart palpitations that landed her in the ER. The research shows that these over-the-counter supplements often contain stimulants that can stress your heart or even worse. Plus, GLP-1 medication can affect how you absorb certain vitamins, especially B vitamins, and adding random supplements without knowing your levels is like throwing darts blindfolded. Here's what actually helps, a proven supplement stack. Magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligrams for sleep and muscle function, a B complex, I like a methylated B complex. GLP-1s can greatly affect your vitamin absorption, 2 to 3 grams daily of high-quality omega-3s. These aren't sexy fat burners with wild claims. They're boring but proven nutrients that address actual deficiencies caused by the medication, but they work. Let me ask you, what natural supplements have you tried that didn't do anything? Share below, you might save someone else from the same mistake. Now, this next one about heartburn medication is creating problems that many doctors miss. Number 9, proton pump inhibitors like Prilosec or Nexium. Here's what happens. See, GLP-1 medications, they slow down how fast your stomach empties, which can cause acid reflux. So people reach for the PPIs, the proton pump inhibitors as they call them. Makes sense, right? But here's the issue. Those proton pump inhibitors are blocking your stomach's acid, which you need to effectively absorb B12, magnesium, iron, and other crucial nutrients. While studies show mixed evidence about B12 deficiencies from these medications alone, when you combine them with GLP-1 medications that may already affect your nutrient absorption, you're potentially doubling the problem. And I see it all the time. Patients come in with crushing fatigue, brain fog, numbness in their hands and feet. And when we check their levels, B12, very, very depleted. And we see a pattern with these patients on GLP-1s and these acid reflux medications. So here's what actually works better. Bentane HCl with pepsin HCl. It supports digestion instead of shutting it down. With a broad spectrum digestive enzymes as well, we have this product that I recommend on Full Scripts that has all of the key. Here's what we do with our patients. We clean up their digestion. We reduce their inflammation. We add a broad spectrum digestive enzyme product that has some acid in it, some pepsin, some bentane HCl, because the acidity in your stomach, the problem is it's low and you're not breaking down the food, so your body has to produce more acid to get the job done. But if you address that underlying issue, the lack of acidity to begin with, we see many patients get better without the need of these nasty medications. One patient was on these PPIs for 6 months. We switched him over to digestive support. Not only did her acid reflux improve, but her energy came back within 3 weeks once she could absorb nutrients again. Now, this last one, this is responsible for some of the worst outcomes that I've seen. Number 10, shady medication sources. I know medications are expensive and I get it, but buying from Facebook groups, unlicensed online pharmacies, or that friend who says they know it all, that's playing Russian roulette. A 2025 safety study found that GLP-1 medications that didn't come from high quality 503A pharmacies, those medications that you get without a prescription, had nearly 50 times higher error rates. That's not a typo. They also showed higher rates of stomach pains and even concerning mental health effects. I had a patient who had bought semaglutide online, again, you know, and I want to be clear, this is the bottles that say not for human consumption. Turns out it was just B12 with some random peptides. She had wasted 3 months and hundreds of dollars with zero weight loss. Another patient got her tirzepatide from another online facility, and she ended up in the ICU for dangerously low blood sugar and pancreatic inflammation. So here's the solution. Use legitimate telehealth services with real prescribers and FDA oversight over these pharmacies. Again, if you're getting them from a doctor that's prescribing them, likely that's what they're using, but ensure and ask them, are you getting it from a pharmacy that's 503A? Many legitimate clinics will offer you payment plans to help you navigate around lack of insurance coverage. Don't risk your health to save a couple bucks. It's not worth it. Now let me tie this all together for you. Look, what it all comes down to is that these medications are powerful tools, but they're not magic. Every one of these combinations that I've shown you can sabotage your results, or even worse, land you in the ER. But when you know what to avoid and what to do instead, that's when the magic happens. Sarah lost 62 pounds on a quarter of her dose that her doctor originally prescribed. Nancy's eating more than she has in years, and she's losing consistently. Lisa still enjoys her social life without destroying her pancreas. The difference between the 57% who suffer with the side effects and the 10% who cruise on through, it's not luck, it's knowledge. It's understanding these interactions and making the smart substitutions. Remember, you're not just trying to lose weight, you're trying to fix the underlying metabolic dysfunction. If you're ready to get expert guidance on your GLP-1 journey, whether you're just starting or you're trying to break through a plateau, book a free discovery call with our experts. We'll create a personalized protocol based on your specific situations. The link is in the description below. Remember, the difference between success and failure isn't the medication, it's having the right strategy. And if you guys enjoyed this video, check out this video right here. This is the 10 most common mistakes that I see patients make on their GLP-1 weight loss journey. We'll see you guys later.